The rain hammered against the windshield of the Mercedes as Jonathan Pierce navigated the empty streets at 2 a.m. Another late night at the office, another dinner missed, another promise broken to himself that he'd find balance. At 42, he'd built Pierce Technologies into a billion-dollar empire, but couldn't remember the last time he'd actually lived instead of just worked. His headlights swept across the bus stop on Maple and 5th, a route he'd taken 1,000 times without really seeing. Tonight, something made him look. A child, curled up on the bench using a trash bag as a blanket. Jonathan's foot hit the brake before his mind fully processed what he'd seen. He sat there, wipers beating rhythmically, staring at the small figure that couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old. She wore a pink jacket too thin for November, and her sneakers had holes in them. Someone's coming for her, he told himself. A parent running late, a guardian, someone. But he knew better. He'd grown up in neighborhoods like this one before the tech boom gentrified it. He knew what desperation looked like. Jonathan pulled over, grabbed his umbrella, and approached slowly. The girl didn't stir as he drew near, too deeply asleep or too exhausted to care. "Hey," he said softly. "Sweetheart?" She jolted awake, eyes wide with terror, scrambling backward on the bench. "I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I'm waiting for my mom." Okay. Jonathan held up his hands, staying several feet back. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just worried. It's 2 in the morning and it's raining. Where's your mom?" The girl's defiance crumbled. "Working. She has 2 jobs now, the diner and the cleaning service. She said I could wait here because the apartment—" She stopped abruptly. "Because the apartment what?" "Nothing." But her eyes told the story. Eviction, probably. Nowhere safe to wait. Jonathan's chest tightened. "What's your name?" "Mia." "Mia, I'm Jonathan. How long have you been out here?" She shrugged. "Since 7? Mom's shift at the diner ends at 3, and then she does the office cleaning until 6 in the morning." 7 hours. This child had been alone for 7 hours and had 4 more to go. "Mia, where's your dad?" "Gone. It's just me and Mom." Her voice was matter-of-fact, too used to this reality. Jonathan made a decision that his lawyer would probably call reckless and his heart knew was necessary. "Come with me." Fear flashed across Mia's face again. "I can't go with strangers. Mom said—" "Your mom is absolutely right. Smart woman." He pulled out his phone. "What's her number? I'll call her right now and you can talk to her. I'm going to tell her that I want to take you somewhere warm and safe until her shift ends. A diner that's open all night with security cameras where you can be seen, and I'll stay in view the whole time, okay?" Mia rattled off the number, watching him carefully. The phone rang 4 times before an exhausted voice answered. "Hello?
Ms.
Torres. Who is this? If this is about the rent—" "My name is Jonathan Pierce. I'm at the bus stop on Maple and 5th with your daughter, Mia." The woman's gasp was audible. "Is she okay? What happened? I told her to stay put." "She's fine. She's been here since 7 p.m. and I—" Jonathan paused, trying to find words that wouldn't sound insane. "I want to take her to Murphy's Diner on Grand. It's safe, it's warm, and she can sleep in a booth until you finish work. I'll buy her dinner, I'll stay where she can see me, and you can call the diner to confirm we're there." "I don't understand. Why would you—" "Because no child should be sleeping on a bench in the rain," Jonathan said simply. "Because if someone had done this for me and my mom 30 years ago, maybe she wouldn't have worked herself to death by 50. Because it's the right thing to do." Silence stretched. "Then put Mia on!" He handed the phone to the girl, who walked a few steps away. He heard fragments. "Yes, Mama? He seems nice? Yes? I'll be careful. I'll call you when I get there. I love you too." Mia handed back the phone. "Mom says okay, but she's calling the police to tell them where I am, and she's calling the diner every hour." "Good. Your mom's smart." Jonathan held out the umbrella. "Ready?" Murphy's Diner was a 24-hour institution, the kind of place with cracked vinyl booths and waitresses who'd seen everything. Betty, working the graveyard shift, raised an eyebrow as Jonathan guided Mia inside, but said nothing as he explained the situation quietly. "Booth 7, Betty said, her tone softening. "I'll keep an eye out. Kid, you hungry? Mia nodded shyly. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, the works, Jonathan said, and hot chocolate. He sat across from Mia, not beside her, giving her space. She devoured the food when it arrived, trying to maintain dignity but clearly starving. Jonathan ordered coffee he didn't drink and watched her slowly relax. "Why are you being nice to me?" Mia asked finally, syrup on her chin. "Why wouldn't I be? Most people don't see us. Mom says we're invisible." She said it without self-pity, just observation. Jonathan thought about his penthouse view, his executive lunches, the way he'd stopped seeing people as people and started seeing them as transactions, obstacles, or opportunities. "Your mom's wrong. You're not invisible. People just forget to look." "Did you forget?" "Yeah," he admitted, "for a long time, but not tonight." Mia finished eating and curled up in the booth, asleep within minutes. Jonathan sat there drinking cold coffee and thinking about the life he'd built, expensive and empty. He thought about his own mother, Maria, who'd cleaned offices and taken in sewing and sold tamales door to door to keep him fed, who'd died never seeing him graduate MIT because she couldn't afford the day off work. At 6:15 a.m., a woman burst through the diner door, small, worn, with Mia's same dark eyes and an expression of fierce maternal worry. Jonathan stood. "Ms. Torres?" She ignored him, rushing to the booth where Mia slept. She touched her daughter's face, checking for harm with shaking hands. Only when she was satisfied did she turn to Jonathan, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "I didn't know what else to do. We got evicted last week. I've been trying to save for first and last month's rent, but between fees and food..." Her voice broke. "She's not supposed to be my problem to solve. She's supposed to be a child." "Miss Torres..." "Please call me Carmen. Carmen, what if I told you there was a better way?" Suspicion clouded her features. "I'm not a charity case." "No, you're not. You're a hard-working woman in a broken system." Jonathan pulled out his wallet and extracted a business card. "This is my card. I own Pierce Technologies. Tomorrow, later today, I guess, I want you to come to my office. I have a proposal." "I don't understand." "I will explain everything tomorrow, but the short version is, I need someone to manage my corporate housing program for relocated employees. It's a real job, with real pay, $65,000 to start, full benefits, and it comes with a company apartment until you can save for your own place. And I need someone who understands what it's like to struggle, who'll treat our people with dignity." Carmen stared at him like he was speaking another language. "You're offering me a job? Just like that?" "Just like that." "Well, there'll be an interview, paperwork, background check, all the official things. But yes." He looked at Mia, still sleeping peacefully. "Because your daughter reminded me what I've been missing, and because someone should have helped my mother. But no one did. I can't change the past, but I can change today." I can't." Carmen was crying openly now. "Why?" "Because she was sleeping on a bench in the rain, and you were working 2 jobs, and the system is designed to keep you there." Jonathan's voice roughened. "Because I built an empire but forgot why. Because maybe helping one family won't change the world, but it'll change your world. And that matters." Carmen covered her face with her hands, shoulders shaking. "There's no catch," Jonathan said gently. "No strings. Just a job offer if you want it. Think about it. Call me tomorrow." Carmen called at 9 a.m., voice hoarse from crying and lack of sleep. By noon, she was in Jonathan's office. By the end of the week, she was settling into a 2-bedroom company apartment. By the end of the month, Mia was enrolled in a good school with a full scholarship Jonathan had quietly arranged through his foundation. But the real change was in Jonathan himself. He started a program, Safe Harbor. Any Pierce Technologies employee facing housing insecurity, medical crisis, or financial emergency could access interest-free loans, temporary housing, and counseling. He funded it personally, $5 million to start. He began leaving work at 6 p.m., started volunteering at the homeless shelter on weekends, remembered what his mother had taught him, that wealth meant nothing if you hoarded it, that success was measured in lives touched, not dollars earned. 6 months after that rainy night, Jonathan stood at Murphy's diner again, this time with a purpose. He'd bought the building and the business, kept Betty and the staff, but transformed it into something more, a 24-hour community center and cafe, safe space for kids after school, free meals for those who needed them, job training in the kitchen. Carmen managed the program. Mia helped serve food on weekends, proud in her volunteer apron. "You changed our lives," Carmen said, standing beside him at the opening. Jonathan shook his head, watching Mia laugh with other children, safe, fed, cared for. "No, she changed mine. I just finally paid attention." On the wall, a plaque read, "Maria Pierce Community Center, in memory of those who worked in the shadows. May we always see them." Below it, a photo. A small girl sleeping on a bus stop bench, a reminder of what happens when society forgets to look. And a promise that here, at least, everyone would be seen.